On behalf of the Hyderabad branch of SRC of ICAI, I warmly welcome CA Manu Agrawal ji, CA Pramod Jain ji, CA Aniket Talati, and of course I take it as an opportunity to welcome Dayaniwas Sharma because he's also one of the panelists today. So welcome Dayaniwas Sharma ji. I welcome Chengal Reddy, Regional Council member, and all the attendants who are there in the today's webinar on let us try to unlock the lockdown and look at new opportunities. Most of us are worried about the lockdown, and many of us have been asking these questions, even though we know that we don't have the answer. When will lockdown end? But a bigger question to answer for all of is what beyond lockdown? How the life is going to proceed beyond lockdown? And has this lockdown presented some better opportunities to chartered accountants like us? So with this thought, we have brought the best of the people in the industry, best of the people, knowledgeable people in India today. Manu Agarwal ji, Pramod Jain ji, Aniket Talati ji, all three of you had been to Hyderabad, and you have many Hyderabadis as your fans due to your lectures and all in Hyderabad. So what we'll do is I'll not waste much time. I will just take this opportunity and give a very, very brief introduction of Aniket Talati ji, and then hand it over to Chengal Reddy. See, Aniket Talati is a Central Council member of the ICAI for the term 2019-22. He was a managing committee member of Ahmedabad branch, for the terms 2010 to 13 and 13 to 16, wherein he also served as chairman in 2014-15 and is the youngest ever chairman for Ahmedabad branch. He was also elected to WRC of ICAI for the term 2016-19 and served as secretary WRC for the year 2017-18. He is presently the chairman of Financial Review, FRRB. More than this formal introduction, is one of the best persons I have met in my life. Always helpful, always ready to guide, always available for any member or non-member. I heartily welcome Aniket ji. Dayaniwas Sharma, you need no introduction, everyone knows you. So I also welcome you as a panelist. I hand it over to Chengal Reddy to briefly introduce Manu Agarwal sir, Pramod Jain sir, so that we can start.
Thank you, Pankaj sir, Chairman of Hyderabad branch. Today, Central Council members from CARC Kanpur, CA Manu Agrawal ji, as well as Central Council member from Delhi, Pramod Jain ji, Aniket Talati from Ahmedabad, our own council member from Hyderabad, CA Dayaniwas Sharma ji, the other viewers of the today's topic, a pleasant good morning to each one of you. In these difficult times of corona pandemic, let us stay home and keep ourselves, our family and country safe. The socialist virus may set the world market at ground zero. We don't know when we come out of this pandemic. However, some famous virologists are predicting the disappearance of the virus by June 2020 in India or even worldwide. It may resurface later but not this severely. Meanwhile, we may develop herd immunity. In the case of virus continues without therapy of vaccine, the businesses are reshape their models. In such a case, it is highly imperative to manage business logistics by shifts in utilizing the workforce and optimum supply of chain plants. The business must be proactive in identifying and preventing potential problems in their existing models beforehand. The breach in the supply chain of healthcare and the products associated with agriculture may endanger more lives than the coronavirus may do. Lives are more vulnerable to poverty and starvation than the virus. Hence, the government has decided to ease the lockdown rules in specific sectors. This commendable unlock has to carry with some precautions to control the spread of the virus. Manufacturing units outside the city limits, unit in SEZ, industrial estates and EOU start functioning from April 20th. Meanwhile, plant maintenance is a crucial for non-functioning plants. Despite the ease of lockdown rules by the government, the tourism and hospitality sector may impact profoundly until the pandemic is completely eradicated. Due to the slowdown in certain sectors of manufacturing, the corresponding areas of IT and ITAs may as well affect. The dwindled reserves and anxiety may delay public investments in securities, housing and automobile sector also. Resuming agriculture and industry outside urban limits, infrastructure and construction activity may ease the unemployment problem partially. The employment in unorganized and organized sectors may be a big challenge, and such a situation may last till the end of this financial year. It is difficult to predict now whether the economy recovers gradually or with a sudden spurt. Developing industrial corridors along with coastal belt and further easing trade barriers to converting Chinese disinvestment into lucrative stakes in India is one biggest boon for India. I hope it is a great opportunity for all of us listening to four eminent Central Council members on the topic of unlocking the lockdown and how to grab the new opportunities after the lockdown complete. Now I would like to introduce today's speakers. Manu Agrawal bhai. It is a great pleasure to introduce the Central Council member and today's speaker as well. Manu Agrawal bhai is a Central Council member from Kanpur, a practicing chartered accountant with rich experience of 32 years in fields of auditing, taxation, management consultancy, etc. He has a deep interest and adoption of new technologies. Elected member of the Central Council of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for the term 1619 and 1922. Chairman of Digital Accounting and Assurance Board of ICAI for the council year 1920 and again for 2021. Under his chairmanship, SSP developed and launched, this is the biggest reform in ICAI history. Member of Merchants Chamber of Uttar Pradesh and Vice Chairman of Fiscal Committee for the year 2021 of the Chamber, Chairman of Information Technology Committee, Committee of Merchants Chamber of Uttar Pradesh for the year 2021. He is also member, advisor and trainer to various organizations like National Trainer of JCI India, Member Telephone Advisory Committee BSNL, Member UP Government VAT Compensation Committee for 1 year, as well as he is President Kanpur Chartered Accountant Society for the year 2005-06. He is a regular speaker in national and regional seminars conducted by ICAI and other professional bodies and has represented ICAI in European Federation of Accountants and Advisors for SME International Conference 2019 at Netherlands. Designed and conceptualized the free mobile app tax returner and Android platform which has over 25,000 downloads. Awarded a medal by Indrajit Jain Smriti Foundation for excellence in the field of information and technology. With this, I welcome Manu bhai for this webinar. And again, I would like to introduce another council member from Delhi, Pramod Jain ji. He is a commerce graduate from Sri Ram College of Commerce. He is a fellow member of the ICAI. He is also fellow member of the ICSI and ICAI. He has qualified information system auditor. He is also a member of All India Management Association. He is also an insolvency professional. He has passed certificate course NCFM National Stock Exchange of India. He has also done certificate course CAT of ICAI. He has also done post qualification certificate course on valuation of ICAI. He has been elected as Central Council member of ICAI for the year 1921. Apart from being member in more than 25 committees, groups, directorates of ICAI, he is a chairman of Valuation Standards Board and CSR Committee of ICAI for the year 2021. He has delivered more than 900 lectures and articles on various topics of income tax, corporate laws, LLP, audits, peer review, quality review, etc. at more than 140 forums throughout the country. He is the conceptualizer of the portal www.expertspanel.in, which is one-stop solution for all the professional queries, which has given more than 18,000 answers since its launch in mid of year 2018. He is a senior partner of MS Lunawat and Company Chartered Accountants. He is president, founder and convener, member of various associations, circles, committees, etc. of ICAI, ICSI and other prestigious bodies and associations. He has authored book on chartered accountants, documentation and compliance for audits and reviews, limited liability partnership, a complete research book. He has written various articles on taxation, company law and audit in various journals. He has vast practical experience in taxation, audit and corporate law fields, and he has been giving consultancy to various corporate and non-corporate entities on taxation matters. With this brief, I would like to introduce both Manu Agrawal bhai as well as Pramod Jain sir for this today's topic on unlocking the lockdown. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Over to Pankaj bhai. I think.
Well, just mute your audio because there is some buzzing sound coming through. Please mute your audio.
From my side?
Yeah. Please just mute it once. Yeah. I think, thankfully the buzzing sound has gone now. No problem, Changal. There was small disturbance, not big. All of us were able to listen to the introduction and all. We once again welcome. So how we proceed is that first, I'd request the speakers to share their thought for say about 5 minutes each. Then the questions which have already been received from the members have been passed on to Dayaniwas Sharma ji, but only I did a small mischief there. The questions received by where Dayaniwas Sharma himself had to answer, I have not given it to him. But the questions to be sought by Dayaniwas ji from other three panelists have been forwarded to him. So what we'll do is we'll start with Manu Agrawal ji. Let him share his views for about 5 minutes. Then Pramod sir, then Aniket bhai, then Daya bhai, and then we'll start answering the questions. Members who also would like to seek any questions, please put it in question answers so that first we give preference to the questions received over email and which the speaker should be answering. Subsequently, we'll answering the questions which are there in Q&A. If you want a specific panelist to answer your question, kindly state the name of the panelist also before the question. Thank you. Over to you, Manu bhai, for your start this introduction.
Thank you, Pankaj bhai, the regional council member, Chingal Reddy ji, my council colleagues, Pramod ji, Aniket ji, and of course, Daya bhai. First of all, I'm really grateful to the Hyderabad branch, the CEO Managing Committee for inviting me to this webinar. And for that, I especially thank my colleague in the Central Council, Daya bhai, who is instrumental in organizing this wonderful program. The success of this program has been established, and the first 2-3 days have been great with you hearing to speakers on various topics of interest. The topic for today is a very interesting topic, unlocking the lockdown. Now friends, first of all, for unlocking the lockdown, I think what is important is first what we should understand is what actually is the lockdown, or what is the impact of the lockdown. Well, the first impact probably which all of us felt was a crash in the stock market. From some 41,000 odd points on the Sensex, we crashed to somewhere around about, I forget the numbers now, but 26, 27,000. We reached the 30,000 mark, which represented a more than 25% fall, or 26, 27, 28% fall of the stock exchange. So, well, the general feeling was that everything is lost, everything is gone, and we are moving into a recession and all those things. But actually, another question arose: is the stock market a barometer of the economics? And if it is, can it within days judge and within days declare that this is something which has happened, this is something which is imminent? Well, as we all know, stock exchanges discount the future and all those things. So now, post that, what we have seen is we have seen an equally sharp recovery from the lows of the day which happened, say 26, 27,000, we are back above 30,000. We are on the Nifty. We are back to 9,000 plus. So does that mean that we have already unlocked the lockdown? Well, again, that's a very big question. Now, the first question is, the first feeling which we get is that we are on the path of a recession. But is that actually true? Is it a foregone conclusion, or do we have to look further? First, let us look at the impact on India, because that is what is of our concern. The good news on that front is India is largely a domestic economy. The reliance on exports is very limited. So for us, one good thing is that even if the world is locked, even if we are unable to export to a great deal, it will not have a great impact on our economy. We are a consumption-based economy. Now, we are in fact an importers, and the reduction in price of oil, which has been done to a great extent, has really helped the government. It could have been passed on to the consumers, but the government very wisely probably increased the excise duty slowly but surely and ensured that the main benefit of the fall in oil prices has gone to the government and filled its coffers. Because the government is now on a path of giving a lot of relaxations, a lot of credit, to ensure that the credit flows smoothly in the organization. Now, another very good thing probably which the government did was it basically locked down on the first signs. Before it could grow into something very big, the lockdown was in force. And we remember the Prime Minister saying, Jain hai to jahan. Forget about everything, just go into a lockdown and think of other things afterwards. After the first period was over, or even few days before the first period was over, he changed his statement from Jain bhi, jahan bhi. Then again, it made us realize that if we are alive, we also need our livelihood. The economy needs to start. So that is how the government started unlocking things. The government has given so many concessions. The government has opened so many avenues where it says, we have seen that over this period of lockdown of roughly around about 21, 22 days now, there's been no shortage of vegetables, of essentials, of anything. In fact, I think none of us has really felt that he's unable to buy something, he's unable to get any of his essentials. So that is how they've kept the supply chain. Now, there is no doubt that things have gone into a standstill and it needs some momentum to get them back. What the world has seen is whenever there is this kind of lockdown or recession starts or there is a downward growth, the recovery is of various modes. The recovery models are, well, I'm not an economist, but what I've read is that there's a V-shaped recovery, there is a W-shaped recovery, there is a U-shaped recovery, and there's an L-shaped. W-shaped recoveries are very rare, so I'll not discuss about them. But the most common recoveries are V-shaped, where we go down and come back strongly and very fast. A U-shaped recovery is one where you go down, then stay at a stagnant level for some time and then come back. And L-shaped recovery is one of the worst recoveries, where you go down and then you flatten and then you do not know when it's going to come back. So this is the basic mode of recovery which would happen once the lockdown is over and once we start. Now, another question is, if we go back to history and see what has happened. Well, there were various things which have happened, like SARS. Then in Hong Kong, there was a flu in 68, the Spanish flu in 1918, the Asian flu in 58. All of them were very, very grave concerns at that point of time. And everywhere the recovery was a V-shaped. So for us to think that it would be different, why should we think? We should think that we also would be undergoing a V-shaped recovery, and the unlocking, once it takes place, will force us to go again upwards with the same strength and vigor. And well, we've been hearing statements, we've been hearing people say that when everything seems lost, when the whole world seems to be going down, suddenly something happens and everything changes overnight. New lights are visible, new avenues get developed. Even today, what we see now, one of the things which SARS did, SARS was something which came into China. Again, it was a huge um, pandemic again at that point of time, and people were thinking how this recovery. The online platforms took birth at that point of time. One of the biggest advantages was Alibaba becoming a giant because online shopping, which was non-existent, really came into being. Today, well, schools are closed, but is study closed? Are classes closed? Today, seminars in ICAI are closed, but is the learning closed? Probably we are having better learning. Probably what we are moving towards is a different era. A technology adaptation is taking place. Today, sitting in our house, I from Kanpur, Pramod ji from his office or his house in Delhi, Aniket ji from Ahmedabad, we have 3 or 4 people from Hyderabad, all at their houses, but still on this platform. And probably being able to deliver much better content to a much wider audience. We are being able to interact, we are being able to disseminate this knowledge, and people who are interested can do it from their far, far away places. Yesterday, we launched the first batch of the forensic audit, where we had participants from as far as New Zealand and Denmark joining. That was really great. The boundaries have finished. So what are we moving towards? When this gets unlocked, would we go down? Would we have a great impact? Well, everything today is unknown. We do not know about this virus. But all I am sure about is that once this recovery happens, it's going to be a V-shaped recovery. It's going to be either a U-shaped recovery. So what is important is to pass these difficult times with a lot of enthusiasm, with a lot of confidence, and once the unlocking begins, we will see that we will move forward with greater. Thank you.
Thank you, Manu. I think Pankaj is gone to take his celebrations of birthday wishes and celebrations.
Lalit,
So I
very
request.
much here. I was just waiting to Manu will say anything. Thank you. You continue, please. I think we invite Pramod sir to speak. Thank you, Manu.
Thank you, Pankajji. At the outset, many happy returns of the day. Happy birthday to you, Pankajji. Everyone in Hyderabad is celebrating your birthday, and we are celebrating it through the webcast today. Thanks, Daya Bhai, a thorough gentleman and really a great person I have met with, who is always very eager to share his views and always ready to help the members, and his views whenever he gives in the institute are of immense importance, and he always contributes positively to the institute. Aniket Bhai, again, I would say they both are brothers. I would say they both are together always. I have seen them. And yes, Aniket Bhai and Daya Bhai, they're together along with under the guidance of Manu Bhai, because Manu Bhai is there for the DAB and the SSP, and they both have really helped him in they're the great strengths to the institute. So my heartiest wishes to all the three. Manu Bhai, always my elder brother. I really appreciate whatever he said and really agree with that. Uh, just one thing about COVID, I would like to say that this is one of the things which we have seen for the first time in our lives. Maybe our predecessors have seen it, but we are seeing for the first time. Hardly you will see any of us sitting for so many days continuously at our residence. I have never felt that. I've never been there in my house for say a month or long, like continuous. So this COVID has also braked a lot of nomers and misnomers. Various things which we felt was right was that work is my first priority. I am so important in the system. Without me, my office will not work, the institute will not work, or the whole system around me is not going to work. I have to go daily to my religious place, maybe mandir, masjid, gurdwara, sthanak, church, whatever it may be. If I don't go, the God would be not happy with me or something, whatever it may be. all those nomers, misnomers have become misnomers. Nothing has become more important than the humanity, the kindness, the nature. Of course, I'm feeling that the nature now, it is environment is so clean. Even the animals and the birds, they are feeling that yes, they are here to live in this world. It has brought it. So yes, and what has become more important to everyone out here is the hygiene, the medical facilities, the food. These are the most important things which has brought it. Yes, we'll be talking about the economic things and how to come back out of it. Yes, but it has got a lot of positives. Yeah, here, what Manubhai said, that yesterday when FAFD started its first course, uh, it was really exceptional. Everyone was waiting for it, and we'll be coming into it, that how ICI is working over it, how our office are working over it. But yes, this is a time for an introspection, what has been done in past, what we should do, and what we can do. We have to introspect back. This is a time which the nature has given us. So I'm looking forward to this session in a very positive way. Thank you.
Thank you, Manu bhai. May I now request Aniket Talati ji to share his view.
Well, thank you very much, dear Pankaj Bhai. It's always been a pleasure for me to address members at Hyderabad. I've been there a couple of times in the past for two different topics. And today's session is something which is totally different. So my compliments and kudos to the entire team at Hyderabad, led by you as chairman, Chengal Reddy ji, the regional council member, who's always been very active. I've had the opportunity to meet him multiple times. But most importantly, our dear friend Dayabai from Hyderabad. I think somebody who has been an excellent addition for all of us to meet, to learn. I think the way he thinks about the problems, the way he is solving the issues that are faced by the fraternity, by the students especially, I think thereby we all have a lot to learn from you. And thank you very much for inviting us and actually conceptualizing this kind of a discussion. And let me just look at the topic that we are discussing today: unlocking the lockdown. What are we discussing? That this is actually only a physical lockdown. Let's always look at it in that perspective. Somewhere all of us bound within our boundaries of the home have started considering to this to be a mental lockdown also. And I think the first important point that we all have to take home is that this is only a physical restriction. Nowhere does it restrict our skill enhancement. Nowhere does it restrict our thirst or desire to achieve or to contribute to the society. I think that has only grown. But somewhere, if we keep thinking about certain negative aspects, then I believe we will only be stuck in that phase of mind and never be thinking of what will happen once this lockdown is lifted. A simple example, we were discussing that there is some disturbance coming from Chengal Reddy ji's computer. I actually said it is not a disturbance. It is the beautiful ocean behind him that is making a noise. I think that is the perspective that we all need to have in life. So if you are looking at it as a disturbance, you feel that there is some noise, then you will always consider it as noise. But if you think that, no, it's the beautiful ocean which is flowing, there was an aircraft going over Chengal Reddy ji while he's enjoying the views of San Francisco, that will give us a great perspective. So I think that is where the crux lies. And I'll share one important line with you that I received yesterday from one of my friends. And I think it thoroughly emphasizes the lockdown, where it says that if you do not improve your health, if you do not improve your knowledge, or you do not go improved with your skill sets after this 30 days of lockdown, time was never your problem. We always say, I am busy, I have this, I have that. One thing all of us as participants will acknowledge and agree is we have plenty of time. We are doing household work, which we never did. We are doing other activities, which we never thought we could. So if we are able to get time for all of these activities, I think there is definitely time for us to improve our skill sets and a time for us to improve our knowledge. And therefore, I always urge all our members that we may have in all these days taught standards on auditing, standards on accounting. Yeah, I mean, whatever, whenever the problem comes, I will read about it. This is actually the time when you can brush up all our technical standards. If they have been revised, let's look at them. The tax laws, whatever has to be studied, let's try and utilize this. Because let's remember, the bedrock of our profession is our knowledge. People don't come to us because of the color of shirt or the color of our skin or the office size that we have. They come to us because of the sheer knowledge that we possess. And I think it is important for us to appreciate that we are able to increase this knowledge in these days. And what has the institute done, friends, to ensure that? Very rightly mentioned by Manuji, we have taken this head on as the council. You will not believe, friends, each council member is working more hours right now than we would have been working going to Delhi or going elsewhere, because we have decided to harness technology. And we are making sure this is also available to our members. I compliment branches like Hyderabad, the COE Hyderabad, who are disseminating knowledge through these sessions. And most of all, my salute to the members of Hyderabad who are attending these sessions in large numbers and are showing this thirst for knowledge. There may be 10, 12,000 members in Hyderabad, but it is these few 500,000 who are coming and tuning every day who actually will lead the way in unlocking this lockdown. And what do I mean by unlocking the lockdown? Not just skill sets have to be updated. What happens when this lockdown is lifted? And for that, we need a wider deliberation. We need to understand that when the office opens, it is never going to be the same normal again. We all have to get used to the new normal. And what is this new normal? That earlier your keyboard in office, I'm giving you a very small example, but which will start all of us thinking, is that small keyboard in that office, your article used to come and use. Then maybe some chartered accountant also use the same computer. Sometimes you would get there and say, move, so let me sit and I will finish this filing. Now, for you to touch that keyboard is going to be a crux. You will think twice before you do that. How do you actually sensitize your entire staff, your office, to be ready for the situation that after this lockdown has gone? Because believe me, friends, May 3rd or April 20th, whenever chartered accountants are allowed to practice, there may be a time that bank branch auditors may be allowed even April 20th. But we will not be in the same position to practice, do the same kind of work that we were doing earlier. We will have to compulsorily change and adapt to this new normal. And those who do it successfully, those who are able to adopt to this change, will be the ones who will lead from the front. And I think that's where it is important for us to have these deliberations, because not one person, friends, will have the solution. It is going to come out from all of us discussing and deliberating these issues. What must be the office hours? Does an article who goes to a client place, should we now have a norm that he only goes to that client for a few months and doesn't come back to office, so that you're risking removing the risk and bringing down the risk? And who better to understand risk, friend, than chartered accountants? We have internal audits, we have statutory audits, where our standards start with assessment of risk. Are we doing that assessment for ourselves? Because once we do it for ourselves, just think the opportunity it brings us in giving this risk assessment to our clients and telling them what is the right thing to do. How do they unlock their business? And finally, I think once the discussion goes forward, we will discuss this. Huge opportunities for all of us. It may be the international market. It may be domestically. Firms like mine, who for 70 years have never touched the bank finance business. Because my grandfather once told me that when the bank manager sees you, he should stand up. You shouldn't stand up looking at the bank manager. So don't do finance. Do his audit. He should respect you. So I grew up with that feeling. But today's world, when the RBI, the finance ministry, the businesses are in so much pain, our firm ourselves is considering that we will have to now look at these banking solutions and help our clients who are in dire needs, who are suffering in the industrial lockdown. So these are new service areas, new consulting avenue opportunities that will open us. Are we ready? Are we actually reading these RBI changes? Are we actually looking at the new products that the bank is bringing? I think it is incumbent upon us to do it. The institute, friends, like Manuji mentioned, has done its part. We were the first to ensure that the lockdown, even before the government announced the Janta curfew, on the 12th, we stopped the branch programs, all the seminars. And most importantly, we allowed 10 structured CPE hours for all our members to come to the learning hub. It was not so that you could fulfill your CPE hours. It was because we foresaw that if we want to force our members to come and adopt the technologies, to learn the new way in which the world is learning, we will have to then also encourage them. And therefore, we are allowing 10 CPE structured hours on the digital learning hub. I think, friends, the institute will always, you will find, be supportive of your initiatives. But I think we all have to come together and ensure that when this is unlocked, our brains should be unlocked today. And when the physical lockdown is lifted, we all create great opportunities for our profession. Thank you for this opportunity of opening remarks, and I look forward to the discussion, Dayabai.
Thank you, Aniket bhai. No, it was not that we were telling that we are angry with Changal Reddy. No, only problem is that when we are sitting in our rooms and trying to go out, We did not like him sitting at the beach and then enjoying the breeze and the sea. So that was all about. That's why I had muted him. Thank you. Thereby, you can just address briefly for 5 minutes, and then we can just take over the questions.
Thank you, Pankaj Bhai. First of all, my special thanks to Manu Bhai, Pramod Bhai, and Aniket. Thank you very much for coming in and being part of this panel discussion. Uh, Couple of people have been sharing good messages also that we have been poetic. Yes, to start, it is important that we be poetic and then we get into the action mode. And I am pretty confident about my council colleagues and the kind of questions we already have to address is something unimaginable. Am I audible? Let me just start. I'll take only a couple of minutes to discuss. I think it's not a matter of lockdown. It is, why not we think it as knock down the lockdown? If you think it appropriate, I think let us knock down the lockdown. Pankaj Bhai, you will be happy to listen to this language. Friends, it is high time that, there are so many things changing. There is no doubt about it. Couple of points I would like to share, and then we'll go for the discussion. I think it's a great time, no doubt about learning, revising, and rehearsing. Rehearsing in the sense like, use the free apps which are there, where you can get connected with your team, and every day you can have a discussion on at least for an hour or two on what things are happening, how things are moving, and what is being done. More importantly, we never imagine this kind of scenarios where we are all are going to get connected. The remotest place of the country also is getting connected, and now forget about the remotest place in the country. Physical lockdown has actually opened a lot of opportunities internationally, and now we have international attendees who are coming in the this webinar series, and I have been receiving a lot of messages from them on different ideas what we need to do from the center of excellence. We'll surely do it. One important thing which I would like to say is with regards to, I just want to pick up a point consolidating all those things, and again a discussion which PR Ramesh sir had was with regards to a situation where uh, a, in, a body which killed big opportunities in the market, which I am talking about, Amazon killing the retailers. The same body is actually giving birth and support to those organizations again. Can you just imagine, within the time frame of maximum 4 to 5 years, this Amazon, which was creating a major impact on the Indian economy, that everything was getting delivered at home. Now the same Amazon is actually giving birth to this again small retailers, vendors, and kirana stores to support. So the life is very simple. It is again giving birth to the new things. Then more important part is, when you see the entire statistics of the globe, I think India is the lowest impacted country, and we should be fortunate. We are very happy that ours is a young India. And when you talk about Europe or United States, the number of people who have got impacted and the number of people who actually got impacted to the death have been very high on the global front. Now, when you talk about that kind of situation, just imagine what is the opportunity which is available for chartered accountants globally, because all these countries have limitation of professionals, always, even in this time or even in past. ICAI, the maximum number of people, we have 34 international chapters. That means more than 100 people are there in every country like that. So this is coming as an opportunity for us as a chartered accountant. I don't want to talk about the whole economy as such. If we have a capability, if we are able to come together, if we are able to pool the resources together, if we are able to pool certain funds together where we can do the investment to reach out to a new destination, I think that is something which we need to really think about how we can do this. When you're talking about opportunities, opportunity will never come to you. We have to go sometime to the opportunity also. And here in this case, opportunity is there. We are realizing this. Only thing, we need to take it forward in a different perspective. I'll give you one simple example in continuation, how forward thinking our institute is with regards to export of CA services. That has been alienated from the thought process of the Prime Minister's scheme with regards to export of professional services. Now you see, it was 2 years, 3 years back, it was being thought about, and now today this can be used as a fantastic opportunity. So like this, if you start talking about situation to situation, whether the market crash down is the right thing, yes, the market crash down is the right thing. For many people, it is a good time to reinvest. Similarly, when you talk about a V-shaped economy or U-shaped, recovery, it is basically again depending upon the frame of mind we are sitting in, which one we want to take. There are a lot of things which we are going to discuss today. We have got very interesting questions, even including it talks about the taxation impact. And my fear today, let me tell you, friends, Aniket, Pramod bhai, Manu bhai, the fear which I have, right? Today's relaxations might be taxes for tomorrow, which we need to realize. Today's relaxations will be a taxation for tomorrow, and that impact today government is giving a lot of support to the citizens, but again it is going to come back and impact our own people only. So there are going to be a different kind of scenarios which we are going to look into. We have never thought about certain things, and it is time of young India also to be participative and forward looking. Ideas are going to sell now. Ideas are going to sell now, and let us not, as Aniket said, let us not do a mental lockdown. Let us create some new things out of our minds, a fresh mind, and take things forward. Chartered accountants are also going to be one such set of people who are going to think it in a different manner. And the beauty about our profession is when a person thinks about any idea, he first comes to a chartered accountant to make it happen. So this is the power where we are in. If Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh is there, if there is a creator,
And other places, lot of real estate developers who had sanctioned plans for commercial projects, they are actually withdrawing for it. Even the real estate authorities, for example, in Gujarat and in Maharashtra, are giving a 1 year de facto extension for your project completion because they realize that the construction is stalled. And second, even if the construction, when it starts on 20th, that they are planning to do, there will not be the same amount of demand in commercial real estate. So huge impact that I foresee. At least 25 to 30% reduction in commercial prices is what my estimate based on the real estate understanding is.
Though I tend to agree initially with what Aniket and Pramod have said, I'm totally in agreement that this would be the immediate fallout of probably the commercial uh, rentals and the commercial availability of space becoming abundant and the prices going down and all that. But I see an opportunity also here that which people have also started talking about, that the real estate may be in for a big boom ahead. Big boom meaning that industries in China going forward would probably be shut down. And once that starts happening, the next obvious headquarters for everybody would be India. The only destination where a young population is available, where multilingual capacities, English speaking people are basically available and are in abundance would be India. So what people have already started talking about is a number of headquarters being situated in our country. And secondly, the way this COVID-19 has been handled in our country has also been applauded by the whole world. So India, which used to be a destination of political uncertainty, of not having adequate infrastructure, etc., may now turn out to be one of the biggest advantages and be a shining star for people to come from the world and invest and interact here. So again, as I said, that out of this pessimism and out of the problems which we come, we have to find opportunities, and this may become a very big opportunity. Probably the first 2 years, as Pramod Bhai and Aniket say, it would see a downfall because the immediate, well, not the immediate fallout, because the already fallout has been that people have asked to slash their rentals and force the clause of force majeure and all that, and have asked for 3 months cutting down of rentals, not paying rentals. So I do not know what is going to happen going forward, but this also seems possible.
What a fantastic contradiction we have here. Actually, if you see, Aniket, it's amazing, amazing. Matlab, see, one side we have been thinking about one conservatism, and other side Manu Bhai has talked about super positivism. And the best part is, to a greater extent, I would like to agree, Manu Bhai, because India as a nation, India in a global front, which Aniket also will agree, the trust what is there in India of Indians particularly is totally different from the global perspective. And when it is minus China, it is going to be India undoubtedly. And I think what you have said is 100% on the dot. And I think that means we need to learn more about customs, new opportunities, new business, new imports, new exports. Everything is going to start, which I never read. So new idea to learn.
And thereby the first person to be able to tell you about this would be Aniket, when he starts seeing orders coming in multiple of tons, and he getting a lot of outsourced work because he's doing a lot already. So he'll be telling you he'll be the first person to tell you, yes, it started.
I actually had one question for Aniket, but I'll just ask this question to four of us, including me. Can we think about ICAI to come out with the kind of concept paper, how you should align your businesses or how a profession practice should be aligned? What are the areas, apart from the accounting treatment we have been talking about, which is the best in the world today, the document which has come out of institute, why don't we think about developing a document which can give lot of food for thought for our members and students that, okay, this can happen, this can happen, this can happen, this can happen. What is your thought, Aniket? Because you have been working very closely on multiple this thing.
So what I will do is, there is one part of this which is a very important piece, which actually Pramod ji is leading along with me. So I will request him to take that, and that answers a big part of the question that you are asking of how we are taking the lead. I saw even in the Q&A, people are asking whether ICAI is speaking to the government. Are you discussing? Pramod ji, as rightly mentioned, from all amongst us, is the person who is the most in contact with the government. Of course, he belongs to Delhi, but also his technical knowledge is so superior that, we always prefer him representing us before the government authorities in North Block. It may be the Prime Minister's office or the Finance Ministry, everywhere. Sir is the one who's representing us. And he has taken the lead under the ARF, where even I'm part of that project, where we are collecting this information. I will request Pramod ji to share that facts with you. There was a question that was there. But I think two important points that I would like to answer on this, Rabbi. One, what is the institute doing, right? We were the first on any global front to allow. We had this discussion within the AASB, and we got the blessings of the government, and we discussed and decided that this is an opportunity where most of our chartered accountants would have their letterheads, their stamp pads in their offices, and are not able to perform certain attest functions from home. We came ahead and said that let's leverage the Information Technology Act 2000, look at the Evidence Act, and how can we facilitate our members to still can continue their services from home. We came out with a guidance, and I'm happy to share with you that it was after our guidance that SEBI also came out with a guidance only yesterday, saying even for listed companies we will allow this. I think it is definitely a huge, important landmark for institute, because always we have felt that other regulators try and act first and then we are emulating. This 14 months or 15 months of the council, you will see that the council has taken a lead, and everywhere we are thankful that all other regulators have followed suit. It may be, for the first example, we were the first to create a shutdown before even the states or central did it. We were the first to come out with an advisory on accounting and auditing. Again, no country in the world, no accounting body did that. We came out with an accounting and auditing advisory. We were also the first, like I said, on digital signature, on e-learning, on allowing these platforms. And most importantly,
IFAC has recognized globally.
And I was going to come the most important, which happened 4 days ago, was the global webinar which we did, which was attended by 80,000 participants. And people are looking at India
It's a world record.
to show the lead. How can we have solutions to these accounting challenges, to these auditing challenges? So we are actually taking leadership roles within the all countries of the world. And also to answer the one question that was there on Q&A, what are you doing to facilitate foreign countries or foreign companies? Do we maintain a database? Let me share this very quickly with you. Institute has two important functions that we realize our chartered accountants can do. One is the inbound service. That is to say, if there is foreign company coming here, our chartered accountants can provide services. I feel this is the low-hanging fruit. Because usko agar company incorporate karni hai, if they want to incorporate a company, get a GST registration, get an income tax registration, that is our core competence. So for that, last year we did a MOU with Invest India, and now we are sharing the details of our chartered accountants with Invest India, which is the single source point of contact for all FDI coming in. And why did we do this? But we just 1 minute, I'll complete that. That Invest India MOU was because the big fours or the larger firms were getting all the work. The government said, we want our Indian firms to get this work. That was one MOU. And the second MOU was with that we have just approved yesterday in the management committee, is with the Services Export Commission. That is for outbound services. That is companies going outbound. And there, yes, we will have a list of all these companies which are looking for our chartered accountant services. So both incoming and outgoing will be addressed. So to answer that question, Dayabai, yes, ICAI has done a lot of efforts, lot of measures we are taking. Pramod ji can add to it. And if there are any further suggestions, I would request members of Hyderabad to come out with them and submit to us.
I think, Aniket, one point which I would like to say, because very important, even last year I missed out talking on that particular agenda, was the Invest India MOU which our institute has done. I think most of the members do not know about it. And now, with regards to the other one, which is you talked
SCPC.
about SCPC.
Service Export Promotion Council. Yeah.
And we are happy, friends. Let me just tell you and give compliments to Aniket, because the chairman of that committee is Aniket's father, and he ensured that the list, entire chartered accountant fraternity has been listed on that. And he's given us the biggest support. He's played a role of past president of the institute, and loyalty to the institute has been demonstrated very, very effectively. And again, I think we need to discuss sometime, not this forum might be, but we should discuss about both these things with our members. I think they will be excited to understand what it is and what the benefit can be taken by our members. See, we have seniors, we have middle age, we have youngsters. All three can be effectively part of that entire development cycle. So good. I think very, very important point. Even I have not put in any of the discussions till date. I think we need to note down. Pankaj bhai, kindly please note, these two agendas are something which we need to take up at our institute branch level maybe, so that we start doing it. Pramod, you are wanting to say something?
Yeah, in this, institute, if you all see today, Hyderabad branch is hosting since so many days, all these webcasts and all, even all certificate courses have now been allowed to be done for the next few months on digital mode. This institute have been so proactive in all those things. Institute was the first to bring out the guidance on the accounting and the auditing aspects of COVID, which have been listed. There's a link on the IFAC website itself. The importance which this document has, the India which has done it. Our ICAI ARF, which Aniket ji is, he started this project and I joined him. To be very frank, is that there is a survey which is being done not only amongst our members, but all SMEs, SMPs, industrialists who can give their views, who should put in there. The last date is tomorrow 19th. I request everyone to put their views. It could be a very absurd one also. How an idea of an ice cream cone came. Because what happened was in the London, everyone was eating ice cream and then throwing the cover it was having. So they thought out how to bring that this unhygienic thing should be stopped. This littering should be stopped. So they put out a box there and said, anyone, if they want a comment, they want to give a comment, put a comment in that comment box. So they gathered the comments, and one of the comment was, why to throw it, eat it up also. So then the idea of cone came. So my view, my again here request that ICI ARF, the survey is going on where members, and I would request you to send it to your clients also. Sending to clients that link, why it is important. It is important because the client should know that ICI as a institute which is there for them also. We have all been just saying how to put the unity, how to put build the image of ICI. When our client knows, when our friends in the industry knows that ICI is not only thinking about their members but the economy as a whole, and they want to revive it. So your comments, their comments, share that link with them, let them comment it. It could be some out of box ideas. When it could be coming to the ICI ARF, it would be discussed, studied among the experts, and then a paper, a report would be prepared, and that would be submitted to the various regulators. And take my words, since the past few years, I like Aniket and Dayabhai, I'm first. This is my first year in the council. I have seen that there is a huge change in the view of the government, because they are now accepting our views. They are listening to us. They are acting upon it. So when we create this report and send it to them, it would be a huge benefit to the economy, to ourselves, because when we tell to our clients, we are doing it for you. So it helps to us and to the institute. So everyone is beneficial. So my again a request, up to 19th, kindly put your views and your clients, share that with them. Thank you.
So one point which I have for Chengal Reddy actually. Chengal, you are there? Chengal, I tell you one thing. This is a views of Central Council members. I think it is very important and pertinent to note that these all strategies which are being made by the institute are
Okay.
being taken up by the regional council members, and Pankaj Bhai is there. Pankaj Bhai, it is very important as a branch. See, at the top level, if these all discussions are there, some things are new for me also. Let me be very honest, because everyone work in isolation, but united way. Mein. The agenda is only institute. Do you think that these kind of things are to be percolated down to our members? Because you are people who are actually at the grassroots level, where our members are looking at. We are doing a big strategy, but the strategy, if it is not percolated down, do you think there is a role of a regional council member and a branch committee member?
Yeah, absolutely. See, grassroots level, the members will first they approach the branches. See, afterwards they will reach the region, then only will reach through region head office. Absolutely, branch will have vital role. At the same time, regions will have role. At the greater level, head office will have the greater role. I can say. What you say
Right.
that?
Uh,
I
Thank you, Chengal. Till very recently, you're also part of the branch, so you're aware of it. Thereby, I fully agree with you. In fact, that was part of my question, which I wanted to ask. In fact, four of you, because whenever we get a chance and see some central council member in front of us, we start asking question: What did you do? What are you doing for us? Why you are not doing all these things? But yes, I'm aware, being in a committee, that central council and the central council members are working virtually 24/7 to do a lot of good things from us. They send messages to us. We also shift it to members. We also try to gather some information. But where do you think that bridge is missing? Where as a central council member, you feel that we are unable to give back to you what you want from us? Is there any particular guideline, or is there anything suggestion which you share, me as a branch committee member and me as a member of the institute, so that I can follow it up with Hyderabad branch, and I can also request others to follow?
This is, I think, fantastic. This is the first time ever I am seeing that branch, region, and central council is sitting together and deliberating on certain things. And the only person who can answer in this entire discussion is Aniket, because from branch to region, region to center, because Pramod Bhai is directly central, Manu Bhai is again region to center. So Aniket, there is a question back to you again.
No, I think I will also defer it to Manuji because of the sheer experience he enjoys on these topics. But I can only say that, yes, the branches are the basic limbs of the institute, and we are not cannot function in isolation. All three have to work in synchronization. So my request, at least for this important point that Pramod ji has talked about, the ARF friends, we are looking at out of the box solutions. And whatever comes to your mind to revive the economy, it can be a suggestion. For example, as simple as how do you promote Make in India? Very rightly, Manuji said, China is, I think that was a brilliant point he brought up. From China, a lot of industry will want to come to India. How do you brand that? You know, the only example I can give, and I don't know, it's a crude example to give, but maybe China will now be the UB group or the the Kingfisher of that time, where people don't trust that brand. Whereas India can be the Tata of tomorrow, where the name itself inspires trust and transparency. How are you able to then create that branding? So whatever suggestions, it may be the wildest to the smallest of payment cycles, of how you promote these things, whatever come to your mind, please, my request to the branch and region is kindly take it forward. And on the larger question of how all three can work in a synchronized manner to revive the economy, I will defer it to Manuji.
Well, thanks, Aniket. And well, there will basically I think the question is how all the three limbs of the institute work in sync. Well, I would simply say that this is actually happening. It may not be visible, but as you rightly pointed out, Aniket came from a branch, migrated to a region, and then came to a central council. He has all that experience. It may not be possible to take everybody into consultation for every issue, but we have various committees in which the president interacts with all the regional council chairmen. The chairman in turn interact with their own managing committee members, and the views are taken in the upward direction. So this is actually happening. It may be at a slower pace, it could be accelerated, or the mechanism could be made more basically systematic, in which the views are generated constantly. But I think this process is actually happening. Even it is not only restricted to branches, basically the members are also involved. If you see that in every central committee, there are at least 7, 8 to 10 co-opted members. And actually in committee meetings, you find that the co-opted members are more active and play a vital role. So we are not only taking ideas from the branch chairman, from the regions, we are taking from the membership also. At various points of time, we have so many surveys, as in our committee, you must be knowing that for the development of question bank, we have circulated it amongst members to come forward and help us develop the question bank. In case of examiners, we have regular mails sent to the members to enroll as examiners, to enroll as question paper setters, and all those things are happening. So we at the institute level, even Aniket is heading the FRRB, he has sent out a mail requesting for reviewers to come and join him because he's in shortage of technical reviewers. So everything, we are trying to involve every limb of the institute already. It could be in a more channelized manner. Obviously, there is a sense, there's scope of improvement in everything which we do. But I think it is being done. And going forward, it seems that the pace and the involvement would only increase with everything becoming.
Yeah, my point is from that point, Manubhai, Aniket and Pramod bhai, is basically like, when you talk about Invest India, whether we have percolated it down to the branch which can actually communicate to its member. Number two, similarly, SCPC agreement which has been yesterday approved, how effectively we can send it down to our members so that they can take the maximum advantage. We have been working on a different sets. This is perfectly right. Like example, let us take DCMM. You and I know that it was being introduced in 2017, but till date, after last year only, we could actually take it to the public and make them realize. So we need to really think about, from our point of view also, when we are introducing certain things or we are working on certain things, how that can be going down to the members at large, and our members take the advantage in a fullest way. That is my point. And
I think you're correct. And I think these webinars would be a very good way of sending the messages right from the central leadership to the members. We've seen when we have had an All India webinar addressed by the President, there are 30,000-40,000 people joining it at one go. So I think with now the timings not being a constraint, traveling not being a constraint, these webinars and these sort of basically webinars which we have will go a long way in circulating the right kind of information to the members.
Sure. So, again, Pramod bhai, a question for you. Pankaj bhai, you can ask, otherwise I am continuing to ask.
No problem there, bhai. I think couple of question which before we go to the actual questions which have come. One more thing is, yes, I know that lot of initiatives from Central Council members are coming and they sought questions with various people. But what is happening is from multiple sources, like one information flows down to branch from virtually 8 to 10 people with attachments. So what is happening is sometimes we don't know, a new message comes, we again think that it's the same. I understand it's wrong, but what happens is most of the time you send a mail, then your committee team send a mail, then the ICAI send a mail, then SRC send a mail, then someone from ICAI. So many mails are coming. So one request is that one mail for each thing would be a better idea, and rest of it we can just circulate it through WhatsApp or something, saying that kindly check and react on the mail. So that would be a better thing. And any such questionnaire, if we can instruct the branch to place it in the website and then give a link to members to just download and log in, I think that would be a better option, what I feel, rather than too many mails. And that, yes, as a committee member, I take the responsibility. I may not have sent to members several things. So that is a thing of the past. The first thing I would like to ask Manu bhai, which is bit critical from my side or everyone who is doing on Zoom, there's a question being asked. Again, is Zoom safe? Zoom will take away your bank account. Zoom will take away your photographs. Zoom will do so. So the moment you use Zoom, you are doomed and all. See, Manu bhai, what happened was, one is the MHA directive which came, and then afterwards some company floated the security guidelines saying that you update these security channels in you. We have done everything. Still, I want to check up from you your personal opinion. I accept that we are all chartered accountants, but your personal opinion, is Zoom so bad, and are we?
Those are being a draft. We need to listen from the draft committee chairman.
Okay, I'll try to give an answer, because as you very rightly said, we are chartered accountants and not networking experts. But this is a question which is cropping up in everybody's mind because of certain press releases, certain governments' advisories in various countries banning Zoom. I would simply put it, let us not concentrate on Zoom. Zoom is just one company, and this question is just one question which we've asked. What about the hundreds of apps which you install in your telephone or in your mobile? Do you know the security aspect of any of them? What about the hundreds of websites which you open on your web browser? Do you know the amount of permissions which you are giving? None of us knows. So to single out Zoom today, since Zoom is popular, may be correct, even to the extent of a company in US by the name of Zoom, which had nothing to do with this Zoom mobile app or Zoom communication. The share prices of that company zoomed to a great extent just because of the name. So this is the type of publicity which is happening with Zoom. Well, if you use any other similar software, say Blue Jeans, say Microsoft Teams, say YouTube, do you know what? You give the same permissions to the vendor. So any hacking, any data which is accessed is with your permission. Now, when you're using the resources, you have to give that permission. So we don't have a choice. My suggestion would be a simple suggestion. If you want, now today saying I'm not going to use Zoom, I'm not going to use YouTube, I'm not going to use anything is practically impossible. So according to me, the best suggestion is have a separate system, a separate iPad or a separate tablet or something separate, where do not keep any other material, just use it for your video conference. Consider it a cost which you have to incur. Consider it as something which today has become a necessity. You will be saving so much on costs by using such applications, because Going forward, I feel that even meetings with your clients would be more beneficial, more effective through video conferencing. There is no need to call a client, not only because of the threat of COVID. The threat of COVID will go one day. We will forget what has happened. The memory is so short-lived that if everything gets back to normal, within a week we will forget what happened and we will start doing the same things again. So what I would say is but this good start which is being made of video conferencing is not going to work. This is something, have a separate device and forget about the security concerns, because that is something which at least I cannot ensure, and I think most of the technical experts would also not be in a condition to ensure that there is no security.
And most of this is also
Pankaj bhai, there cannot be a better answer.
Yeah,
There
in
cannot
fact,
be a better answer
very
this.
happily I got the answer what I wanted. In fact, and I'm very happy for it. And because the messages what we are getting from the young generation is that yes, because Google Hangouts, the usage has fallen to a great extent. Even Microsoft Team is suffering. So these things are happening. But yes, Manubhai gave an excellent idea. And this
Hey, Pankaj bhai, I'll ask you a slightly different question. In your office, have you disabled all the USB ports? How many of your staff come simply officially inserts a pen drive and unofficially takes out whatever data he wants? Have you ever bothered?
Mine is a very small office.
So,
we definitely do take care, Manubhai, frankly. Yes, but your
because
answer
it
is
is
correct.
practically impossible, it is practically impossible for everybody to have that kind of security in there. When you do not bother about a person coming in, walking, physically assessing your machine and taking out whatever he wants, then why do you bother about somebody sitting in America and taking out some data or some photographs?
Manu bhai, now that leaves us with one very interesting opportunity for chartered accountants, which is cyber security audits. And I think we are the people who are going to be one of the most important and crucial people, because we know the importance of data, information, financial data, financial information, whatever you talk about. And we are one such person who are actually very closely working with the management rather than any other.
Thereby you are 100% correct. I am totally agreeing with you, and I perceive data security, network security to be a very good opportunity for chartered accountants, if not by themselves, in collaboration with a technical team, with a technical partner, and providing these services to clients, because the importance of data in India today is still at probably just 10% level. Nobody cares. I have seen pharmaceutical dealers, wholesale dealers, retail dealers giving their data volume at 500 rupees a year. As low as that, they're ready to part with their whole data because they do not realize that what they're giving is important and is of immense value. So that is the kind of unawareness about data in India.
Pankaj, before we go to the next session, next question, I would like to.
Yeah, one or two questions which probably I did not share with you was.
No. 1 minute. Yeah, please.
Sorry, because you have been asking questions to our honorable guests, so I thought no, I can't allow that. So I had to ask questions to you also. So there was basically one question which has come is that how do you think CA should be prepared for this particular lockdown and further unlockdown, and then advise how we can implement these ideas in Hyderabad based mid-size CA firms?
Very tough question rather of the entire session. Pankaj bhai, it's very interesting. Let us just imagine. Let us all think about. Might be Aniket, you can chip in. Pramod bhai and Manu bhai all can chip in at right time, because the question is very big. Let us imagine a day tomorrow your office is going to open. Right? Let us imagine a day tomorrow your office is going to open. So let us start evaluating from that point. that tomorrow my office is opening. First challenge which is going to come is whether all your articles and staff is going to report to office, right? Number two, it is, see, first we need to think about the shortest issues which are there, then the mid, and then the large. I'm talking about the shortest part. The shortest is tomorrow what I need to do. Number two is, if this entire discussion you just sum it up, there are so many things to take away home. Which I mean is basically when you talk about Invest India, SCPC agreement, customs, what is the new economy thinking? How are the new opportunities there? What is the export of CA services? What are the things which we need to make plans for? Who is the person I should contact to take guidance? See, somewhere we need to really think about, just leave the biggest problem tomorrow, the moment it starts, is what is going to be my bank audit, how I'm going to do my individual returns, how I'm going to do my tax returns. But over a period of this time, these are all going to perish. And this is the right time for us to really think and bracket and put the blocks right, small, immediate, next, and the next. So what happens in the process is, you need to steal your time from your day-to-day work, because tomorrow onwards you're going to start bank audit, tomorrow onwards you're going to start the tax work and all those things. And today what we are discussing will not be relevant tomorrow, but this will be relevant day after tomorrow, because once this tomorrow is over, everything is over. By that time, the technology is going to overrule many of us. The basic transactions are going to come out. So we need to create a thinking. When we talk about the study circles, right, Pankaj bhai, in our branches we have. So in our study circles in the branches should be in that form, that who is able to think a little beyond what is going to impact me. So these all changes which are going to be there, it's a major change which we need to adopt for. And more importantly, I'll just give you one very beautiful answer for it. Just wait for a couple of days. Aniket bhai has been supporting fantastically. We have come out with a DCMM version 2. So in DCMM version 2, lot of such things are being answered already. How our firms have to be, what kind of security systems we need to take, what kind of information protection I need to take. Today, have we ever thought about the digital signatures of our clients, which is ethically not right to be kept with us? Our offices have digital signatures. How insecure it is. And we have seen disciplinary cases where a company guy, when the two directors were very happy, everything, their entire ghar ke chabiyan, unke tijori ke chabiyan, everything they kept it in the auditor's office. Okay, and the entire will unsigned, signed blank documents were being kept. But when the situation came in, these two people fought together, and the other person told, one partner told raise a complaint against the institute, saying that this chartered accountant is joined hand with this another guy, and he removed me from the directory. So there are very big repercutating effects. We need to really understand all these things. Our system securities, which are very important, as rightly said by Manu bhai. We are all going to be people who are going to be living in a data world. What is going to be the net worth is nothing but the data. A smallest, आपके पास एक distributor का data, your client might be a small distributor of a particular pharmaceutical company or XYZ company. Can you just imagine if someone gets to know that you are the auditor of that and you have this entire return or details in the file, your systems can also be hacked and your client data will be taken over. There are so many things which we need to really think about. Technology is going to take us to the next level, but also the more faster we are going to move on that, the faster we are going to come back. So a lot of things we need to think from that point of view, how we need to move forward and how are the things, what are the precautions which we need to take. So that is what I can tell you. I tried my level best to put it. Might have been in hurry or missed out explaining certain thing. Anyone can ask the question. It's not a problem. If anyone would like to add answer to it.
Yeah, definitely. Anyone who wish to add to this? Shall I take up the next question? I think one question from Anand Sharma is that do you think this new way of working will lead to maintaining evidences 100% in soft copy instead of a hard copy, which is still a big chunk?
Aniket,
So yeah, let me answer that. So there is a standard on auditing SA 500 which talks about the audit evidence, if I'm correct. Also, the institutes, a lot of mechanism we have now, like I mentioned, allowed certificates to be issued by DSC. So, for example, the final report or the certificate is issued giving a digital signature. Of course, the final signature will also be retained in soft copy. There are two aspects to this, as I understand. One, Chairman, is the data which comes from your client to you. Now, in the situation when even if the lockdown is lifted, you may not be comfortable going to the client's site, premise, or his manufacturing or his trading facility. So, you may ask him to send it to you digitally. What is the reliability of the digital data? So I think that is a very critical question that you have to ensure. How do you verify that in Excel, those important lines or columns have not been deleted and he is sending it to you? So there may be other modes of you remotely accessing and then directly extracting the data from his software. Or example, if it's a tele data, it's simply getting that file. If it's an online tool, for example, Zero, QuickBooks, all of these, they have an auditor license. Directly get into the auditor's books, our client's books, and extract the information because that reliability is higher. Question then comes to how do you save your audit work papers? So your standards allow for it. There is no specific mention of it, but the Supreme Court and the Indian Evidence Act also considers digital evidence at the same level as you would for normal evidence. This is going to be the same for you in disciplinary committee or for any other purpose. So very important for us to understand that you can easily create a digital file, have all the data or your audit papers kept stored digitally on that, and it will definitely suffice for your peer review purposes, for your tomorrow if it gets challenged in the court of law or a disciplinary mechanism, you can still take it. Only thing is the authenticity of what you are drawing, you have to make sure that you are able to prove that. That is it. But to answer that question, can you save it digitally? Answer is absolutely yes.
So, Pankaj bhai, 1 minute. I have one very interesting question which our audience will be further interested after Aniket's discussion. That is for Pramod bhai. Is this faceless assessment, how impactful is going to be under these circumstances?
First point, let Pramod bhai confirm because many people think Nani, it is not going to work. So first, let us start from that, Pramod bhai. I think my opinion says it has come to stay, but your opinion, you start from there, sir.
When we talk about this faceless assessment, last 2 years we are witnessing, I would say, digital assessment or electronic assessment, where we are sending the submissions for our cases online, and we all know then a call comes, then we go and meet, and then everything is done online. Now faceless is totally different, where who is posting the because there are 3 layers. One is the one is where all those scrutiny is done, where they are having 4 levels. Then there is a front level, and then front level that gives us the questions, we give them the answers, they give it to the backend. Now when we are seeing everything is going faceless, I will not say faceless, but everything is going digitally in this COVID era. Now going faceless would be one of the utmost priority of the government, and they are trying their best, and they are taken around I suppose 3,400 some cases, 33,368 cases for faceless assessment as a pilot project this year. Now even this pilot project, which is now this year, the due date for that is September, and March has finished. But when I had talked to the national EAC principal CCIT, he was of a very confirmed view that they would be doing it much before September, May or June. So coming time, if even certain scrutiny cases have already been assessed and the assessment orders have been already passed for some cases. For certain other cases, now after this lockdown is over, again the rush would be there to seek the answers, and then online cases, I suppose faceless assessments would be the thing which would be going to come in time. And this year, it is a pilot project. And if it is successful, which the top level wants, neither the businessman nor the assessing officer wants. Now, this is a battle between the two. This is a battle between the two, and the top bosses are really hell bent to make it successful. I would say our professionals, we need to improve our art of representing, our art of writing. Who can write well, they are going to succeed, and the time has come already. It was already tested when it was done electronically. Online submissions were made. And now this, after this faceless, more what is writing, because what would be in the faceless is that in case something is to be held against you, they would be issuing a draft assessment order against which you can again submit your submissions. So that would be again beneficial. So in my view, testing times, but yes, they are hell bent to make it successful, and we as a professionals should support it. What I feel so. Certain cases which are complex nature, of course, they won't be done faceless, like 148 or 142A or something other. So they would be done manually only, or even the transfer pricing and all those things, they would be done manually. International tax. The rest all, this year is the pilot project. I'm repeating. I am of the view that yes, that would be done successfully.
Thereby, if I can only add, the 17th of March, when the Honorable Finance Minister had visited the ICAI office in Delhi, and if you, Pramodji will recollect, she was very clear that assessment nahi, I will also make sure that e-appeals happen. And she was there for the Vivad Se Vishwas scheme. And I think now in this change scenario, Pankaj, even I had the same skepticism as you. But even the officers, if they are not able to use an e-assessment tool totally, believe me, there will be an integrated video conferencing facility set up for all of them, because physical contact, as we've always been used to, may not be this, accepted, appreciated in the same manner.
Thereby, I'll also like to add one point here. I totally agree with Pramod Bhai ki neither the assessee nor the assessing officer wants it. I'll go one step further. Neither the council wants it. But in spite of stiff opposition from all the three stakeholders, it is a great initiative of the government which may not bear fruits today, but in times to come will really clean up the whole system and would ensure that the tax regime in India also basically becomes very, very fair, and the say tax terrorism or all those words are things which we forget and which never come back to our mind.
I would like to further add out here, the initiatives which our income tax, the CPE, Ministry of Finance has taken in the income tax. They have been talking about with their counterparts in US and other countries, and they have appreciated India's role. They've said the way the income tax assessment and filing of returns have been digitized in India, it is still not there in the US and other developed countries. So they are looking forward towards India and appreciating that how you have made it possible to make all the returns filed online, make the assessments online. So they are really appreciating that, and even the refunds online. So they are really awe of India, I would say, right now.
Thank you, Pramod Bhai. Pankaj Bhai, one specific question which came to me directly is basically, can we take up this industry, how majorly impacted, and how they can come out of present situation of lockdown, and what are the suggestions and guidance from our side? So, which industry?
If you can add to the question thereby, in fact, a similar question is also coming to, because it's almost same. I'd like to tell you one thing. See, ICAI, I remember 12th March, when the country was moving, ICAI initiated and sent a letter to all branches, bus khatam. From today evening, everything is locked. Yes, I was the first person to be very, very angry. Ye kya kar rahe hain log bolke. But yeah, slowly it realized that our leadership, when it thinks very well. Kudos, my appreciations to ICAI. No, similarly, there were to people. No, because that was the day I completed the inauguration of Hyderabad, renovation work of Hyderabad branch. And from next day, I was gearing up for several seminars. So my anger was there. Let us forget about it. But because can we continue the same good work, and can the ICAI come up with some suggestions to members as well as their family members and all, as to what they think could be a proper way to move both from office side as well as on the other areas. It's just a suggestion. Now you can just combine both the questions and you can answer.
Pankajji, just one thing, just to tell you and all the members, it was the day we all were at Mumbai on 12th of March, and there was a felicitation of President, Vice President just after 3 hours. And when it was said that, okay, let us make everything stop next day, it was discussed that why next day, why not today? So they were there, members were there from the other branches to felicitate our president, vice president. Same day, the same program where 1,000 members were put together, that was cancelled. They themselves cancelled their own facilitation. So this is the standard which they have put in. So if they can do for themselves, all others, there is no question, doubt over that.
Yeah. So thank you, Pramod.
And to additionally,
sorry.
Just to answer that question of the chairman, sir. See, one thing we must always understand is we must always appreciate where the expertise lies. Our expertise lies in the financial domain, in consulting, in the accounting. We are not the right persons to give advice on how the office should start, what is the right amount of social distance or physical distance. But yes, what as the institute we can do, and we've already had this discussion internally, is we will reach out to the best experts in the country and request them to give us certain guidance of how our chartered accountant offices, when they open, what are the precautions that they must take. We will also try and do a seminar or a webinar across the country where all small and medium practitioners, we have our fear when I open the door, when I touch the lift, files coming from the client side, what happens on those aspects. But it is not going to be any council member or chartered accountant, because we believe we are not experts in that area, but we will get the best expert in the country to address on these aspects. So at least our chartered accountants can take all safety precaution measures when this lockdown is unlocked.
Sir, I want to add, add to what the basic question was, that the unlocking of the lockdown, when we talk about what should the industry do and all those things, when we are talking about it, I have read a few of the quotes of some experts that conserve the money, it may be needed for certain emergency requirements and all those things. I am a bit of a different view. I have discussed that with Dayaniwas and Aniket and others in the council. The need now to revive back the economy, to unlock the lockdown, is to spend, spend to improve the liquidity. Withholding the money which you are required to pay to your employees, to your vendors, would stop the chain, and that would be the only hindrance to revive back. The moment you pay out and the others will pay out to you, the chain would start moving. The demand would be there, the rotation would be there, the demand would be created, everything would come to normal. But if you think that, okay, I'll save the money, let others give me, the chain will be broken. Hence my request to tell to all our clients, all our industrial people, do not hesitate, do not stop the money, do not restrict the payments to be made to your employees, to your vendors and others. You start making the payments, they would in rotation make the payment to you. And ultimately, everyone would be beneficial into that. So that way the demand could be created. Any comments on by the other council colleagues on that?
I completely agreed, Pramod. This is what actually the extension of the discussion is primarily. We discussed about the commercial space in a long-term basis. But now let us take example of automobile industry, right? Now there are lot many things which are attached one after another. You talk about, fortunately the retail is moving, retail only to the extent of regular livelihood matters. The stores are going to open. Eid will be there, or might be, the people who have been locked down for quite a long time, they'll be sitting at home, they'll be going mad. So everyone is going to go out and start spending. See, this is where the retail, which is like clothes, shoe store, might be you have not used it at all. You're sitting on a banyan and pajama every day at home. and ultimately you're not using your clothes. But the thing is, like, that pressure which has been there on the people, ultimately they have to release it. They have to release it by going to hotels, where they have to release it by going to stores. They have to release it by going to buy something and all. So this cycle is going to undoubtedly create and cycle immediately back. That is my thinking, because 1 month of 1.5 month, 2 months of cycle, if it is broken, it is not a situation that the globe will stop anywhere. Now people have to be paid their salaries. Might be they're paying 50%, but ultimately they're going to get the entire thing. Like, let us take example of our own profession. Our contracts, our assignments are for the full year, right? So if I have not received in this month, next month I'm going to receive, because there's a whole month returns I need to file. Might be what will happen is, in the month of March, your transaction was less, or April it was not there. So what will happen? You will pay 50% of the fees. So these kind of cycles are going to come, and this is something which we need to be prepared for. I think this is how the industry is going to move on with regards to technology. Whether it is talking about, you today we had a fantastic newspaper article which talked about continuous hiring of many companies. Continuous hiring is happening during this time also. We were thinking that people are going to lose job, but it is on the reverse side which is happening. Number two, with regards to the installments and payments which we need to make, as per we had a very stringent norm in the world with regards to our NP guidelines. So it was 90 days, that is extended to 180 days. So that means certain places that money is not going to go, but it is going to go and get invested in some other form. So the life cycle is going to come back in a manner which is there. But any specific question or any other thought is there, we can actually deliver it. Pankaj bhai, over to you. Unmute.
Yes, take couple of questions from the audience also. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, what is? I'll just take. It is about basically one question from Vivek Tapadia is again SMPs who have clients who are traders or small proprietary concerns who are not tech savvy. How do you think the CA would be able to help them, or how to do the handholding in such case who are not tech savvy? Any point, because many of the small SMPs are having
Manu,
this problem.
Manu bhai.
Manu bhai, you're there?
Chairman sir, yes, I heard the question. Basically, one of the views which I have is key traders would probably be one of the community who is worse, who is least affected by this lockdown. Because in trading concerns, normally what happens is you buy material at a certain price, sell it over your margin, and if it is a perishable good, well, perishable goods are all open. They are serving the economy, and they have not been put to shut down. They are all working. So, as regards traders, my first observation is that that community, in spite of being less tech savvy, would also not bear the main brunt of this lockdown. Now, secondly, well, let us come to certain traders who may bear the brunt of the lockdown, and what could the role of a chartered accountant be? Well, the role of a chartered accountant, whether we have COVID or we don't have COVID, remains the same. Because it is basically, as Dayabhai also told you, that DCMM model which we have is a wonderful document to explain what is expected of a chartered accountant. It gives in detail all the services which we as chartered accountants should be providing to our clients. Now, one of the services could be this security aspects which we already spoke about. The other aspect could be to help him judge what package, what accounting system he needs to formalize or he needs to apply in his system. The third could be, suppose one of the areas where probably work from home would not be very conducive is marketing or sales. Sales is one area where contact seems to be essential. But going forward, what I foresee is that even in sales, a lot of technology can be used. We can use sales to basically zero into the actual customers where we need to focus. We can use technology to basically ascertain what products are essential for me, what is the area which I cater to, what are the type of customers which I cater to, so what is the type of material which I should order. So a chartered accountant can easily help you find, easily help you select the right tools, easily help you select the right softwares and all that. But basically for that, the chartered accountant also needs some upskilling, some basically knowledge in those domains, which is quite elaborately discussed in the PCA model. So I think that chartered accountant, wherever finance is involved, wherever profitability is involved, will always have a role, and he could, by suggesting those technological advances, the ways in which a trader can adopt to it, can provide service to those.
Thank you, Manu bhai. I just go to Aniket Talati here on one question. In case of BPO and KPOs, now is this creating an opportunity for Indian CAs? And if yes, how to approach? How should the CA be prepared? And anything additional which he needs to work on?
Fantastic question, and I think it is going to be the biggest gain. Mark my words, I am saying this with all seriousness and understanding the gravity of what I'm saying. The biggest gain out of the COVID-19 scenario is going to be the increase in international practice of our chartered accountants. The president has in multiple occasions said that we would want that 50% of our net receipts. So if your turnover or gross receipts is 20 lakhs, 10 lakhs, if it's 50 lakhs, 25 lakhs out of it should be from foreign operations. So how can we achieve this? I think thereby in the beginning mentioned about the Prime Minister's dream of these champion sectors, where he has identified 12 champion sectors, and the biggest one is the accounting services. Travel used to be, but travel is not going to be. I think there is a huge focus now on how you can increase this. And let me give you a simple example. I have clients in New York. Some of the colleagues here have clients in Australia, UK. So these are all countries which are known for giving work to India. In these firms or in these entities, there used to be an accountant who used to work, or there used to be a chartered accountant or some other professional who used to come in office and work. Like I said, co-working is now going to change forever. Since the last 1 month, the person who was working in San Francisco and used to go to San Francisco office is now working from his home. His home can be 5 miles from office, 50 miles from the office, or even 100 miles from the office. That is not affecting the way he is able to perform the tasks and do the work that is assigned to him. So if distance doesn't matter, 5, 50, 500 miles don't matter, what will 5,000 or 15,000 miles matter? It will not. It is going to be extremely change the scenario when people will look at thinking that if nobody wants to work within this co-working environment and the office is not going to be functioning as the way it used to be, why not have an extended office in India? A lot of these firms will actually come out and look for it. But thereby also said one thing in the beginning, opportunity knocks the door, but you still have to go and open the door. You will still have to go and approach and make sure you get this work. And how do you do that? For that, the SCPC, we are going to do multiple joint programs along with them in various countries where our chartered accountants can go approach them. What is required? You very rightly asked me, what is required? What is required is A, you have to be confident about yourself. And how does that confidence come in you? You have to be clear about two aspects. One, the softwares that they use. So if you expect you will move them on Tally, please, they will not move on Tally. You will have to learn Xero, you will have to learn QuickBooks, you will have to learn their technology. And two, our chartered accountants are extremely good at accounting. Only thing is you have to learn their local gap. Once we are able to do that, you will have to go to these countries, meet. There is a cost to it. Please understand, this is not a standard practice where people will come to your office. You have to go out there. There will be a cost that is there to meeting clients abroad. but that 2-5 lakh initial cost can turn into a crore rupee of revenue very soon. We will have to start thinking in a business perspective for this aspect. And the SEPC MOU will also, we will have a special session like that I mentioned on it. There is a MDMA clause under the trade where the Ministry of Commerce reimburses the cost of yours to go to these countries and attend seminars. It's available.
Oh, this is
It will
fantastic.
now be made. It will be made available to our chartered accountants. We can do a special session on it. Your ticket, your stay, entire cost, you can get reimbursed from the government for getting export work. So I think we will have to work. We are smart as chartered accountants to identify this. And once we make our eyes and set our goal to increase our global presence and get the work, I think the age-old saying of act local, think global, that will be in effect. And surely I see this COVID-19 creating a huge export opportunity for our chartered accountants.
Aniket, one very interesting point I would like to say when we are talking about the cost which is there. Pankaj bhai, I think ours should be the first branch where we need to think about this foreign RRCs which we plan for holidaying. I think that need to be converted into business opportunity travels. And fortunately, we have 34 international chapters who are willing to support us, to encourage us, and get the right people on the platform to do certain interesting things. And with SCPC thing, we can really leverage for our members in a different style.
Yes, but now everyone is doing the residential refresher courses only. Everyone is sitting in their home and refreshing themselves. Okay. There any questions which you have received in between? So I'll just
I
look
received
at
very intelligently by Chengal Reddy directly on my mobile. So I have to answer his question. Otherwise, he's not going to.
Because I'm trying to unmute him. He is not allowing me to unmute. So you can
Allowing you
answer
to
the
unmute.
question.
I can understand. See, it was a very nice question. He is talking about what will be the new opportunity when tap for overcome the problems. One is we have discussed about these things. And not only discussed, I am trying to tell is basically the kind of inputs Aniket has given gives a lot of confidence for us that okay, there is something which is lying. We need not go and explore new things. And like Pramod bhai said, income tax is not going to be a kind of practice which is going to be what we are looking at today, and it is going to change. Though we have all sessions which are happening across with regards to income tax. But the next question he had was primarily after lockdown, majorly MSME sector is going to affect. But MSME is contributing 50% GDP into India. You are 100% right, Changal. But the fact is very simple. I'll just take an example. When you talk about a contractor, who is actually supplying labor force to some people who is like L&T or might be IVR, now the IVR is not there, or any big name you tell. They are supplying people to them. They are very small contractors who are there. They pull up people and then they give people for doing certain job. Obviously, in last 1.5 month, 2 months time, labor force was there from different states, which was being pulled and that was being put. And today, this entire labor force is gone back to their respective states mostly. The biggest challenge is going to be where the borders are being locked. When these people have to come back. Example, Telangana says, no, I am opening my lockdown. I am giving a relaxation. But I don't have people to work for. That is going to be a big challenge, undoubtedly. And not only that, the kind of frame of mind people have gone through in last. See, we are talking very good. We are connecting and all. But the people who are not connected, those people are going to go back to their towns and they are going to just relax. Just imagine to break their thought process and get them back to the working mode is going to be a different challenge altogether. I think that is where the government has to take little initiative to encourage these people to come back on time so that the work starts as early as possible. These MSMEs are nothing but apart from these kind of things which are going to be there. You can take any other example. You have any other specific example, kindly share. Otherwise, like these are things which are going to a small unit which is operating in Balanagar had different people with them. They have come from might be Bihar, they might have come from some other state. Now these people have gone back. They have to come back again. There were construction activities. You talk about the carpenter. When you talk about a mason, when you talk about anyone for that matter, all the small dealers or retailers who are sitting in the small shops, are going to get impacted undoubtedly. But somewhere we need to give that encouragement that these people come back to the normal routine, and it is going to take that small time for all of them to come back. Maybe it will take 1 month or 2 months, we don't know. But the people have to come back again. How difficult it is going to be, and all. Honestly speaking, it's very, very tough. So,
Changal, you want to say anything, or shall I continue to mute you? Changal, you want? Changal, there is small disturbance whenever we are unmuting you. That's why I'm muting you. So whenever you want to speak, just raise the hand. Sir, I think we are almost exhausted the time, but what happens is when we are discussing something in the month of March, April, and we don't talk anything about bank audit, then again, no discussion would end. So I'll just have one question wherein I have combined some of the questions where people are, one is that there is a feeling which I don't know, some circulation is going on that banks have written to RBI saying that audits need not be done, and now people are assumed that audits will not be done. There is one question. Okay, and again, how to do? Can everything be done over soft copy and all is one question. I think Changareddy is going to add. Then you can answer it and then give your concluding remarks.
I think most of the WhatsApp circulation is that Indian Bankers Association gave a advice to the RBI saying that you can dispense the bank audits and all. This is the first foremost one is going in circulation to WhatsApp. I request all the Central Council member, can you update on these things so that the members overcome from this panic.
Sir,
let me answer that, and then I think Pramod bhai and Manu ji can give a concluding remarks so that we can close this on this one particular aspect of bank branch audit. Let me share with you what activities the institute has done. See, there are a lot of branch auditors who actually wrote to banks and said, no, we are not comfortable. It is not going to be safe for us to go out. We do not want to do the bank branch audit. The banks have approached us, see the entire allocation process based on the software they have done. Now some auditors have started saying, no, we do not want to audit this. Though I believe most of our chartered accountants are actually willing to do this work and want to get this work done, the replies that were sent were somewhere not very appreciated by these banks. So what we are doing is twofold. One, we using technology, encouraging our branch auditors to start work remotely before the lockdown gets lifted. Second, a conversation with all central statutory auditors has been done under the aegis of PDC, where very clear instructions have gone from the ICAI to the central auditors, and the central auditors have confirmed that they are not comfortable signing the audit without bank branch audit. Third, 2 representations have already gone to RBI. Please understand, IB and banks can ask, but it is finally the RBI which has to decide. And we are strongly in conversation with RBI on this matter. As far as it is concerned, today the position is that they are not, have not discarded with this bank branch audit. They are also assessing the situation. They have certain deadlines which have to be met for listing purposes. But be that as it may, there is no current. Let us not get into this hyper mode of spreading these news. Please rely on the institutes, all the publications or the notifications that we come out with. As of now, the RBI and institute through the PDC is in constant dialogue.
I basically also endorse the views of Aniket and strongly recommend people not to contemplate, not to think of things of the future, not to even discuss, because how can one tell today when the audit will start, when will it happen? First, let the government open the lockdown, let banks start working. Why should we contemplate? Why should we even think of writing a letter to the bank? Today I am unable to come. The bank is not asking you. The bank has not asked you to start the audit, but still people have gone ahead and written letters to bank. So what we have been instrumental in doing is creating situations which did not exist, or trying to find answers for things which no answer exists. So my sincere appeal to everybody is to kindly stay put, not to contemplate, let the regulators do what they are doing, and it will be done in the best interest of the company. country and best interest of the CA fraternity that the institute will take care of.
I just want to add one thing further. I fully agree with what Aniket Bhai and Manu Bhai said. I just want to discuss a very, very important point. You know, what happens normally? My small question to everyone out here, that what happens, suppose something goes wrong with your family member. Say your chacha's daughter or son has got some mishappening, someone slapped him or someone abused him. Do you post that on social media? No, because you know that it is your family. If you post anything against your own family, it will not be good. But when it comes against some other CA member, it comes against any elected representative, it comes against institute, everyone is so happy and telling the world whatever negative it is. Why? Because they feel they are not their family. And then they say the reputation of our institute is going down. Who is playing the role into that member himself. My humble submission, please use the social media very wisely. Anything negative which you are trying to bake into the social media is only adding to its coming it down. You know, if there is anything which is there in your minds, kindly share it personally with the members. And take my words, it is my just beginning of the second year in the council. Any suggestion, any email which comes out there to any committee, it is being taken up in that committee, discussed, and then the action is being taken. It is not that anything which comes to the committee is not discussed. It is brought to that meeting by the secretary that what is to be done. It may take time because it is a huge institution. One committee doesn't know what the other committee is doing. But again, yes, they are still doing. So my humble request, please use the social media very, very wisely. Don't post anything negative about against your CA brothers, against the elected representative, against the ICAI. My humble request, in that way, you are playing a very important role in enhancing the image of ICAI.
Thank you. Devi, would you like to say something?
I don't have much to say, Pankaj bhai, and whatever is all the three have covered very effectively. But I have received one question which I would like to take. I think that can be a last one. Uh, Many times we see that what we are discussing regarding international services, we have seen that the work goes to big or large size firms and not to small or mid size firms where conditions are regarding turnover, number of partners or experience, etc. So how can the hurdles be removed for small and medium-sized firms? We face the same in case of tenders by government as there are criteria and we are not able to cope with this. And it has been specifically asked to me, so I'll just start and then might be any other council member can continue. See, first of all, when we want to do we desire to do a service of a bigger organization, the bigger organization also has a desire to hire a larger firm. If we want to only be a proprietary or two partner firm, I think that is not going to be the answer for the future. And when we talk about the discussion with regards to KPO, BPO, these all things, it is high time that we all come together. And we are trying to work towards, in my other presentations also I talked about, we are very, very closely working with the international. How do we do the networking guidelines more effective so that people can come together and work, though they own their own identity? There is a lot of discussion which has been happening at the council level, and I'm pretty confident, putting my fingers crossed, by end of this year we'll ensure that we come out with a fantastic networking guideline where people can work together, they can show their strength together to the market and say that, this is the entire group which we are standing with, and this is how the entire thing. And there are going to be very good guidelines coming forward because we understand the sentiments, because we come from that background. See, larger firms do exist. It has to exist. Then you don't have a competition which is there. Parallelly, the mid-size and small size also have to exist. But there have to be better opportunities. If a person doesn't want to use that opportunity also and still he thinks that he should get a Hindustan Lever audit, that is a different thing altogether. But yes, the guidelines which we are trying to do are going to be very strong so that we all can come together, we can pool together and we can demonstrate together. When you're talking about big fours or any big firms, rather for that matter, it is pool of people. They have come together and they have formed a group. So similarly, we have to think about forming a group and making it happen. So just wait for some more time. But only thing is, during this time, we need to open our minds and leave the sentiments also have value. That is what I told one of my clients. So I'm just sharing the same thing with you also. Sentiment has value, but at not at the cost of having everything and not living anything. So this is my answer to this particular question. But anyone would like to answer, that will be great. I don't
So,
think Aniket, anything you would like to add? So
Pramod bhai?
Pankaj bhai, I think we have touched 110.
Yeah, I think thereby in the same way, because now many companies would look for cost cutting. Now, see, obviously, the heads at the top are there is a chance that yes, many people might come out of the jobs and all, and unfortunately, someone could be a chartered accountant and all there, and who have definitely reached the peak and who are no longer looking at financial side and all. Will it, when we keep complaining about small firms, small practice and all, will it be a good idea to approach such people if we know, and then bring them on board and say at least take an advisory role, so that you start looking at the other side of the table, because they can easily tell you, look boss, this is where you are doing wrong, you correct it, you will get the work. So something like that, will it be a good idea?
Pankaj bhai, I'll tell you very simple quote of nature. What we talk is money attracts money, right? And
Yeah.
similarly, talent will attract talent. We have to understand. And second, third thing is trust will attract trust. A person from that position, if he has to come to you, he has to look into all these parameters. There are people who are really interested. In my own office, I'm sorry I'm putting my own office, but in my own office, I have a fantastic friend who has joined recently from a multinational company. There are two more people who have joined in the recent past. The total number is now three. So it is just moving upward. There are a lot of positive things which are being seen. I think we had very good friends across, which you also know, I also know, Aniket will have, Pramod bhai will have, Manu bhai will have, Chengal will have. All of us who are sitting will have some or other person. But the only thing is that demonstrated the vibration, that kind of aura we need to create, that the person would like to come and be associated with us. So let us give trust to have trust back.
Thank you very much. Can we close the program, sir? Yeah. Uh, Thank you. On behalf of Hyderabad branch of SRs of ICA, I very humbly thank Manu Agrawal ji, Pramod Jain sir, Aniket Talati ji, our own Dayaniwas Sharma, for leading a very interesting discussion. I'd also like to thank Changal Reddy for being here as a panelist. I thank each and every participant. There are maybe at 170, 180 participants were there at most of the time. So I thank all of you. And again, I promise that we'll come back tomorrow. Please take rest. Monday we are back with one more interesting program. Okay. So see you all on Monday at 11 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you, and
Yeah.
happy birthday, Chairman, once again.
Hey,
Thank you, sir.
one more thing, Pankaj bhai,
Thank
one
you
more
very
thing
much,
from
sir.
all of us from the Central
Thank you,
Council,
Chengalji.
all four of us, I think on behalf of the Regional Council and the branch, we all request you to kindly contribute a small amount towards the COVID fund.
Yes,
It will
sir.
be
Sir,
a biggest.
just
Yes,
I
sir.
would like to share to all the council members, wherever I am an exception member from Anantapur, already 200 members, 2,30,000 they have contributed. From Warangal, nearly 137 people are there, but they have contributed 3 lakhs rupees. From Karnool, already they have contributed more than 2 lakhs. So everywhere, wherever I am exception, I am requesting all the committee members to take it forward, and they are making the calls as well as requesting all the members. I think most of the branches they have collected majorly from my side, but the rest of council members also they have to take it
No,
forward.
no, you are one third ex-officio member for Hyderabad, so at least one third of the Hyderabad Secunderabad
I
population
contributed
to make them
30,000
contribute. Changal,
1
I think
crore. Sir, 1
at
crore
least
from Hyderabad.
1
Changal
crore
Reddy is
from
always
Pankaj
one
bhai.
crore, sir. Right. Thank you.
Not bad.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, all of us should contribute to PM COVID fund.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll send message, Aniket bhai.
Yeah,
We'll send
Aniket,
today.
just for information, today we have in SIRC and all the regions, Girish Ahuja is speaking. So I think again
Same
we should
time.
have that same
Same
time.
So
time.
please,
So
yeah. So if you can try and request there also to make an appeal to the Corona Fund.
मेरा
Thank
point
you.
क्या था?
Thank
Generally
you.
we have close to 500 people who are participating. Today we have little less, only because of this particular thing. But I think the 10 also, if we are able to change the mind, I think that itself is a big thought process we should occupy.
Okay. Bye. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.